Welcome to the Better Off Bonus Call of the Week, sponsored by Betterment, the largest independent online financial advisor. Now remember, if you've got a burning financial question, you have two chances every week to get on the air. We've got this bonus call. We drop it on Tuesdays. Then in the longer show on Thursdays, we have the listener question of the week. Just send us an email. Ask Jill at betteroffpodcast.com. Right now, we are going to Neil from Oregon. Did I say it right, Neil?
You got it.
Darn it, I'm good. All right, Neil, what's going on? How can we help you out?
Well, I am curious. I'm 25 years old. I've been doing a pretty good job at savings, and I have some questions about seeing if it's a good time for me to consider buying a house.
Oh, cool. Okay. So you're 25 years old and you've got a job, hopefully, and that's why you're saving so much. How much have you saved so far? Tell me about your non-retirement as well as your retirement.
I think in total, retirement-wise, I have about 50 or 60,000.
Great.
And then non-retirement is whatever else adds up to just under 100,000.
Okay. So 40 to 50-ish. Okay.
Yeah.
And how much do you earn, Neil?
I earn about 40,000.
Wow, you've saved a lot of money considering you earn 40,000. Are your expenses really low?
I keep my expenses pretty low, but I've also been contributing since I was like 19.
Wow, that's impressive. So where do you live now? You rent? Do you live with your folks? What's going on?
Yeah, I rent in Bend, Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty small mountain town.
Okay. How much is your rent?
I spend $350 a month for rent.
$350 a month for rent. Mark is just, I'm going to give you a visual. Mark just leaned back in his chair, put his hands over his head, because I think that's about what most people in New York spend on their parking is $350 a month. I mean, that is such an awesome rent. Presumably it's not some horrible place. You sound like you're a pretty normal guy and you're saving all this money. So that's unbelievable. Fantastic.
I do have roommates. That's
Okay.
how I'm able to do that.
Do you want to get rid of the roommates?
No, I'm actually happy with roommates
Okay.
for now, or
All right.
at least for a while. Yeah.
Are you thinking, I mean, you're pretty young to be thinking about buying. Are you likely to stay in Bend, or do you want to have some flexibility? Tell me a little bit about what's going on in like your real life. What are you thinking is going to happen?
Yeah, so Bend is seeming like a place that I might stay. Since I've been here, 2 more of my family members have moved here, so it's becoming kind of the new home base.
Oh, that's good to know. Okay.
But the challenging part, or that what kind of raised the question, is that that Bend is growing really fast and it's pretty constrained because there aren't a lot of outlying areas that people can move.
Mm-hmm.
And so with all of that inflow, housing prices are just increasing very fast here. So I feel like I need to make a conscious decision whether I'm doing it or not.
Okay. All right. And you would buy this on your own. There's like no sibling or anything that wants to chip in, or this is just Neil's pad, correct?
I have a long-term partner, but we're not married.
Okay. But you would be doing this financially on your own?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. Would long-term partner be able to contribute to expenses?
Definitely.
Oh, definitely. Okay, good. So how much would you have to pay to get into a home that you'd want to live in for a while?
Probably the houses here somewhere $250,000 to $300,000.
All right, so I'll take the difference. I'll do $275,000.
Yeah.
So if you were going to buy a $275,000 place, you would want to put down, say, 20%. And of course, that exhausts your non-retirement account pretty quickly, right? Because you're going to have to put down $50,000 or $55,000 to get your 20%. I'm not saying you shouldn't do. I just want to be clear that that's the case. All right. So let's say you did do that. Let's say that, you've got your money that you've saved up, or let's say that your account right now, which is at 40 or 50 grand, you get it up to 60,000. Okay. That's probably where you want to be. And you have to put 55 down or 50 down, depending if you buy a $250,000 or $275,000 house. You put the money down, you got a mortgage, you get a 30-year fixed rate mortgage, and now you're going to pay about $1,000 a month for principal and interest, but you've got to also pay insurance and you got to pay property taxes. So now let me ask you, how do you feel about essentially tripling your rent, tripling your housing cost from, $350 up to $1,200-$1,300 a month? I mean, you probably can afford to do it because you're a very good saver. It's just you're not going to save as much money. So how do you feel about that?
Yeah, well, that's the tricky part, because that still is around what my house is paying for rent, just not what I was paying individually. So, so I'm taking on a little bit more of that responsibility, because if I didn't have roommates or a partner, then that would be all on me, and that would feel like a lot.
But on the other hand, think of it this way: if you and your partner are splitting it, then your share, let's just say that your share went from $350 a month and you went to, let's say $700 a month, and your partner was paying, or $600 a month, and your partner was paying the other half, then it doesn't sound so bad, does it?
Exactly.
So here's the thing. If you think you really want to stay in Bend, what I would suggest is I would go out and get pre-qualified for a mortgage. I would start to really hone in on what you think you'd want in a place that you really would want to buy. And I would make sure that you feel comfortable with the numbers. And I would really look to do it. I mean, the big downside, it's not so much that you're going to get rid of all this savings in one fell swoop, because, I mean, really, you don't just save for nothing. This is a great goal, but that you are now tied to this place. And if you say to me, hey, I want to be in this place, then it's not feeling tied. It's saying, hey, I'm buying something while I have the money to do it, and I have the cash flow, and interest rates are still low. So I think that could be a really interesting idea for you. And if, again, you have a partner who's going to split the expenses, it works. And hopefully as you make more money, you're going to be able to replenish your savings. But I think that you're asking the right questions. So start running the numbers and really get serious about it. Go get pre-qualified and see what you can find. Maybe you'll find something fantastic for $240, and you're not going to have to burn through all of your savings.
Yeah, and I guess that's the real question too, is as the housing prices keep increasing, how much is too much for me to be overinvested in a home?
The big question to me is not about the being overinvested, because you're going to end up you already have a good chunk of savings. You've proven you're a good saver. I think the big question for you is what your cash flow can allow. And if you run these numbers, you're not going to have roommates for the rest of your life, right? So even if you were realistic and said, okay, if my partner and I had to go rent something, what would that cost us? And maybe that would be $1,000 a month. I don't know, I'm making it up. And then you start to talk about apples to apples. You can't really compare, having a bunch of roommates living in a place with owning your own place over the long term, having control of your destiny. I mean, in some respects, you're probably pretty close to what it would cost you going forward for the two of you to get a place. So run the numbers, be sure that both of you feel comfortable with it. And, for most 20-somethings, the reason why they don't want to buy is they don't want to be locked into a place. But it doesn't sound like that in your case. It sounds like you really want to be there. And if in the worst case scenario, you got an awesome job in Portland, for example, maybe you could rent this place out. And that would be something to consider.
All right.
Go get yourself a house. Keep us posted and let us know how you do, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, take care. Okay, that's a wrap of our Better Off bonus question of the week. If you've got a question, it's simple. Send us an email at askjill@betteroffpodcast.com. We'll arrange to get you on. And don't forget, in just a couple of days, there's a brand new episode of the Better Off Podcast sponsored by Betterment. Talk to you then.